You had a Metro Boomin interview at one point,
Yes.
and you deleted it.
He made me.
Okay, so did it come out?
It did come out. I did an interview with him, maybe a year ago.
Oh, recently. Okay.
Maybe a year and a half ago, something like that. And I was geeked, like extremely excited because I understand how important he is. And did the interview. It was a good interview. He didn't talk about his mother passing away or anything like that. He basically totally avoided that, which is fine. But the thing, okay, so towards the end of the interview, he told me that he wanted to see it before I dropped it, right?
Okay.
But then his team basically said that they didn't want me to drop it for something like 3 months because they wanted it to coincide with the release of a project or whatever. So my team was kind of like staying on him and trying to, figure out when exactly it would be okay for him to drop it or for us to drop it. And through that waiting game, I forgot to send it to him and forgot to get the actual review, So when it came out, he hits me up pretty upset. And it was very hard for me to understand because when I really thought about like what was in the interview and what could be considered so controversial that he would have wanted to see it, nothing really like stood out to me because, he avoided pretty much all of the most uncomfortable topics. But there was two things that I felt like could have been stuff that he wouldn't have necessarily wanted out there. And number one was that I think I asked him about YSL and about Gunna, and I feel like he might have not known exactly what to say or wasn't 100% sure what he wanted to say about that because that was kind of like this time period where everybody was still maybe kind of like choosing who their allegiances were going to be with. But the other thing that academics pointed out to me much later, academics said, hey, did Metro talk about Drake in that interview? And I'm pretty sure, I haven't watched it since I guess I never watched it, but there was one clip where I asked him if Drake was going to be on his new album. And I think that he gave me a response that made it sound like a possibility and then also did not really make it clear that he had any kind of issues with Drake. I felt like the reason why he was not comfortable with it coming out unedited was because at the time that we recorded it, it might have kind of been up in the air if he was going to be homies with Drake or not. So that's my theory, at least, about why he wanted to edit it. And then I think he was just like so upset about the fact that it came out without him having a chance to look at it that he just asked me to delete it, and I ended up giving in. I guess like in hopes that, he's probably still mad at me, but maybe I could have, a relationship with him in the future because I do have a shitload of respect for him. So that was kind of a weird one. To get an interview that we were that hyped on, to have it come out and then have to take it down, and then meanwhile there's all these other fucking bullshit ass interviews that he did around that time that were, just bad objectively probably, not because of him, but because of the interviewers. That was kind of a bummer.